Name is Justin White. I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions here for Commonwealth University, um, representing all three campuses, Bloomsburg, Lock Haven, Mansfield, and Clearfield. Thank you for joining us this evening. We're hosting a virtual session based on CU Achieve with the one and only Dr. Emmy Borst. And with further ado, I just want to introduce you. I'll share my screen here, and then we'll get started here. All right.
Thanks, Justin.
There we go.
As Justin said, I am Dr. Emmy Borst. I'm the Executive Director for Student Success at Commonwealth. My home campus is Lock Haven, but I do supervise this program as well as all of the Student Success offices across CU, so Lock Haven, Mansfield, Bloomsburg, and Clearfield. So it is my pleasure to be here with you tonight to talk to you about CU Achieve. I know that sometimes there's lots of questions. We try to put as much information out on the web as possible, but hopefully you'll have all of your questions answered before we are done for the night.
And again, too, just to follow back up, if you have any questions, students, families that are watching live right now, and families that are watching that will be watching in the future here, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. And to the people that will be watching in the future when this is posted on live on YouTube, if you have any questions, you can please contact our admission office. You can also, drop any of your questions down in the comment section on the YouTube page too as well.
All right, so the basics, right? What is CU Achieve? So CU Achieve is a program that Commonwealth University designed, and it is basically the biggest piece of information for you to know is it is a program designed to help you as students transition as smoothly as humanly possible to Commonwealth University and collegiate life. That transition from high school to college can be really, really bumpy for a lot of students. And so we partner with the admissions team to kind of identify some students who we are concerned extra might have a harder transition for one reason or another. And that's okay. We just want to make sure that you are provided all of the support that you need to truly be successful during your time here at Commonwealth. We want to see you start as a first-year student, go all the way through to graduation, and alleviate barriers before they even become a problem. So we really want to focus on, it's a support program. It's based to make you the most successful student you can be, and really help you thrive here at Commonwealth. So, just some basic pieces of information about the program. It is academic based, but we also make sure that we pull in some, social transitions. Again, being a high school student to being a college student, very different. One of the biggest pieces of things that we see students struggle with really truly is time management, and making sure that that you're responsible for your own time management and making sure that you get to class on time, you get to a job if you've got a job, you get to athletics if you've got athletics. And we really try to help you build those skills and making sure that you are taking full advantage of everything that you can at CU, while also making sure that you're balanced and your priorities are accurate. So we do provide academic support. We partner with our tutoring and our learning centers. We provide a mentor to every student in the CU Achieve program. Those student mentors, many of them have gone through programs like CU Achieve previously, as well as some of them are, totally top-notch students. They've flourished and they just want to give back to new students coming in, but they are true CU students, and they just want to help other students kind of make that transition a little bit easier. We do a lot of monitoring with our CU Succeed software. So my team, which are all of the professional staff within the Office of Student Success, they will be reaching out if there's any concern from a faculty member or really a residence hall director, a coach, really anybody. We'll make sure that we outreach and kind of check in with you. We also provide academic coaching. So again, skills like time management and study skills and test taking and those kinds of things that are very, very different in college than they are in high school. We provide all of that throughout this program. Again, the big piece that we do want to make sure that you all hear and that we're transparent about, because it's really, really important to us that you understand. Completing the requirements of the program is a requirement for your continued status as a student at Bloomsburg, Lock Haven, Mansfield, or even Clearfield. Go ahead, Justin.
Yep.
Thanks. So I know this is like a wall of text, and some of you may be joining us from your phone. Please don't feel like you need to read all of this right this minute. All of the program requirements are, I'll go through them, but all of them are available on our website, as well as in that contract that you will have gotten through your admissions portal. So it's all right there. Again, we really want to make sure that we're making this program and its requirements as transparent as possible. But again, the focus on this and the reason there are requirements and the reason that the program was built was really to make you truly successful throughout your time here at CU. So just like any other student, you're going to go ahead and complete all of your onboarding requirements. You're going to pay your admissions deposit. You're going to attend orientation. If you're a student who is required to take the ALEKS Math Placement, and you're going to get all of this information over the next few months. If you deposit, we'll get through all of the information about orientation and ALEKS and any other admissions onboarding requirements that need to be done. We offer programming for all of our new students during mascot days, which is a few days before classes start in August. And so there will be a few assigned program times that are required. And if you're an athlete, one of the biggest things is, well, I'm in preseason. So we will work with your coaches. We'll take care of all of those arrangements behind the scenes. You don't need to stress about it. You don't need to worry about it. I've already met with all the coaches and we're all on the same page. We want to focus on making sure that you are successful as a student first. And then the athletics piece is a nice add-on to it. So I know that that's a concern for folks, and it really will not interfere with your athletic standing as long as you're doing what you need to do and you're communicating with my team as well as your coaches. So you'll meet with a student mentor. Oops, sorry, go back for a second, Justin. So I just want to real quick kind of highlight a few other things. So our student mentors, again, you're going to be meeting with them every other week. They're going to help you talk through some different points and kind of just check in, see how you're doing peer to peer. We've found that students really enjoy that interaction more than maybe meeting with professional staff, and that's okay. We train our students very well in all of the different ways to kind of triage your problems. And then if they get to the point where they're not sure, that's why we have professional staff in place to help support you as well. So you'll get assigned a specific student success staff member, and you'll meet with those folks as well throughout the semester. Those are professional staff members who my entire team, I think everybody's got at least a year under their belt now in the role, and most of them have a master's degree or higher education. So we're a highly trained professional staff. Again, I'm not going to go through everything, but I do want to make sure that we highlight that you need to complete at least 12 credits for this fall semester. So that's, we typically will give first year students a 15 credit, so that's 5 classes, 15 credits schedule for the fall semester. You need to make sure that you actually complete at least 12 of those credits and earn at least a 2.0 GPA or better. And what that means is that for the university, that puts you in good academic standing by the end of your first semester. It's typically about a C plus average for your grades. So just so you know where you're at with that. Go ahead, Justin.
Yep.
So again, I referenced that all of those requirements are on your student contract. Again, we're really just trying to be open and honest and transparent with you. So you'll be able to sign that contract right in your admissions portal. And then there's a preview of it on our website. So you can read it all ahead of time, but it's all laid out the same way in your student portal, and that's where you'll actually sign it. So just again, to kind of reiterate why we have the program, learning outcomes, we are an educational institution. So of course, there's always got to be learning outcomes added to everything that we do. And these are just some examples. It's not an exhaustive list, but we want to make sure students will know the resources available to them throughout their time at CU. The best part about this program is you're going to be making the relationships that you need and that you're going to need with professional staff and student mentors and faculty throughout this first semester. You're going to figure out who all those people are, and you're going to know them so that when you need them later on, you know who to go to as well. And that's really important because you may not need us first semester, but you may need us, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, even getting ready to graduate. So we want to make sure that you know who all those folks are. Students are also going to make sure that they understand the academic expectations of the institution and how to meet them. We often talk about expectations in a way that maybe isn't always student friendly. You don't always necessarily understand what we mean. So we want to make sure that you know not only what your expectations are, but then how you actually meet them. So we'll break it down, piece by piece, and we'll make sure that really you understand what it means to be a student at CU. Students will learn or strengthen skills. So many of you are going to come in and you're going to say, I know how to do all of these things, right? I just didn't do them in high school. It's probably not accurate for most of you, and Justin's given me the face too, right? We all want to say that we know how to do these things. And the reality is that's why it says learn or strengthen. We can always get better. And that's really the design of the program, is to teach those who maybe didn't know how to take a test in high school, maybe didn't learn how to study in high school. I know I was definitely a student in high school that I did my homework, I got good grades, and I didn't really have to study. And when I hit college, it turned into, wham, I don't know how to study. You can be a great student coming out of high school and still not know all that you need to know to be successful in college. And again, I can't reiterate it enough. College and high school are very, very different from the student perspective. Case in point, and you'll hear me, I also oversee our orientation programs. You'll hear me say it at orientation, but the number one indicator for student success is going to class, as well as then in addition to that, it's understanding that you're going to learn more outside of the classroom than you do inside of the classroom. So more of your learning needs to take place when you are studying, when you're reviewing your notes, when you're prepping for class and those kinds of things. So again, we're going to teach you how to do all of that, which is very, very different than high school. Because high school, it's pretty much you go to class, maybe you take a test, write a paper, and then you're done, right? There may not even be homework for many of you in high school. So making sure that you know those differences and how we navigate them. And then obviously learning to connect with my staff and our office through the Office of Student Success, so that we can make sure that you stay on the right track. And again, the support that you get during this program doesn't end at the end of the fall semester. It continues through your entire time here at CU, all the way to graduation.
And I think that you made a great point when you mentioned that, of how it continues all the way through graduation, because I remember, I was a student when we integrated. I recently graduated about 2 years ago now, with a bachelor's in science and sports management. And my major required me to take a science with a lab. And I wasn't Bill Nye the Science Guy, Dr. Boris. So like I wasn't, and that's okay, right? But I had to use resources like the Student Success Center to connect me with tutorial services and things like that in order to help, me graduate from this course. So, and I was a senior at the time, and I was quote unquote supposed to have everything all figured out. So, that's something that, it's not just a resource for you as a first-time freshman. It's a backbone that's supposed to help guide you throughout the whole entire way.
So just some key pieces of information. Again, like I said, we really are trying to build a foundation so that you are successful and can graduate, because ultimately that's what we want for you, that's what you all want for you. We want you to do that in 4 years, unless your program takes longer. We really want to make sure that you're not wasting your time and hard-earned money and all of those kinds of things. So this is really what it's about. Go ahead, Justin. So again, these are some of the pieces of the puzzle, and just a few high-level pieces of the puzzle to make sure that you can start here, continue, and graduate. We really want to make sure that we're setting you up as much as possible. Again, we can't do more than you do. We can't work harder than you do as students. So these are just some of your things that you need to do. Certainly, again, going to class, communicating with us. The program is really built on building relationships with my staff and with the student mentors, so that you can feel empowered to ask for help. We know that so many students don't ask for help. Whether it's because you're a senior, right, Justin, and you don't want to say, I don't know all the things yet, or whether you're a first-time freshman and you're just like, I just want to get through my day. I don't want to cause any problems. None of that is reality, right? So we all need help sometimes, and relationships are key in making it possible for you to ask for help in an easier manner. When you do your homework, when you go to class, when you study, we do workshops. A lot of our workshops are student mentor run, in partnership with our professional staff. So there's the professional staff member, but the ideas and the content and the language and the way it's presented is fun and, very student friendly. Obviously, I can't relate to you all now anymore. I used to be able to. I'm going into my 18th spring here. So that's a little bit crazy.
Congratulations.
Hey, thanks. It's a little bit scary to think I've been here that long. But I get it, right? You're not going to connect necessarily with me. I'll try, but I understand. So that's really, again, why we have our peer mentors, our student mentors, because they can really break things down in a way that you can understand, sometimes in a way that we can't. So that's pretty much where we're at with that.
And that's a great point you mentioned too about having peer mentors to be able to, connect with other students that are coming into the program and into campus. Because on our side, we're, I'm, usually when we do group presentations and when we going out to high schools and talking to students, we're telling you, hey, choose the people and not the place, because people are what's going to help make your experience what it is. And I think that's a testament to that point, because, we're kind of like, if I can relate this to sports, we're kind of like running a 4x1 in track, right? Like on the admissions, we're handing the handoff and baton to you and your team as student success. And, it shows that everybody has one message of creating, a great environment for students to be able to achieve success, no matter how you get in to the university at first, ultimately graduation and people making your experience what it is, which is also a great thing too as well.
Awesome. So we're going to go through just a few of the more frequently asked questions, and then we'll be able to open it up to you all for questions if I haven't answered them already. So the really nice part, what does CU Achieve cost? Nothing additional, right? So it's just your basic tuition fees, all of that kind of stuff, just like any other student at the university. We do not ask for any additional money from you. Again, it's so important to the university that we have put the funding for this program forward to support you without additional cost to you as students and supporters. The CU Achieve program does begin pretty much as soon as you get on campus in August. So, I guess technically there's a summer component because you need to show up to orientation, but that's always a fun day, and that's every student. But you will be assigned a move-in day on your campus. We have first-time freshmen move-in days. Every campus has multiple days for first-time freshmen move-in. And what we'll do is we're going to assign a day on each campus. I don't have those exact dates yet. I'm sorry, but I'm working on it. so that it's earlier in the move-in process so that we can have a little bit of time with you while other students are moving in. We're not taking you away from any of the other fun move-in activities or mascot days or anything like that. We're just going to kind of tack on to when other students are moving in. We'll have you join us for a few hours just for one day. You're already here, you're getting settled, to again start building those relationships with my team, with our mentors, and with each other. You all will be each other's biggest, cheerleaders and support networks. And we really want to start growing those relationships right from the start. One thing that is not listed here that I do want to say before I forget, because that happens. I had a question from a supporter a few weeks ago asking about if there are additional classes that are kind of rolled into the program that we don't say is an additional cost, but ultimately you have to take a, not for credit class or something along those lines. That does not exist. So all of the classes that you take at the university will count towards graduation. So CU Achieve does not have any additional course requirements. So when I say there is no additional cost, I truly mean there's no additional cost, and you can graduate in 4 years just like any other student. So the program doesn't slow down your progress towards graduation. You don't have to take an additional class, none of those kinds of things. So I think it's really important, again, in an effort of transparency and just being really clear, all of these things are in addition to class, but they're not going to interfere with class. It's all based on just giving you the tools in your tool belt, so to speak. If you're a student athlete, am I still required to enroll in CU Achieve? Yes. So the admissions team has deemed this is how you are being admitted to the university, as a conditional admit into the CU Achieve program. Whether you're an athlete or not doesn't really matter as far as the program is concerned. You are still required to complete the requirements, be in good academic standing by the end of that fall semester, in order to stay at the university. So athlete or not. Again, the next one then is just for, I assume, regular students. Do I need to attend CU Achieve program in order to attend Commonwealth University? The simple answer is yes. Awesome. So what questions did I miss?
And just while we're waiting on some people that might, be typing away on the computer here, just to break the ice a little bit, a question that I received not too long ago, because on the admission side, right, there might be a student that applied for more of a selective program, like, nursing at Bloom or health sciences here at Lockhaven or whatever the case may be, and they might not have the GPA requirements to meet that program at the specific moment. On the student success and on your end, have you seen instances where a student might not have gotten into that program, might have been into CU Achieve first, and then initially, worked hard their first semester, their first year, and then got themselves into the program later?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. So again, we wouldn't have a program, and it's one of those situations where the university would not choose to fund a program like this if it wasn't successful. And if we weren't seeing the returns for students. So the biggest piece for us is, we have a lot of students. We've had a few students in the last few years actually finish their first year with a 4.0 GPA. So that's perfect straight A's, right? So you say, okay, well, I was conditionally admitted to college. Maybe it was your first 2 years out of high school or in high school that, things were rocky for you. You had a harder transition there. And then, junior and senior year, you really knocked it out of the park, but you were still having some shaky ground, maybe on some of those core classes. And once you get here, there are tons of success stories. We've got lots of students that end up in a 3.0 range at the end of the program, or at the end of the first semester. So it's definitely, it's not meant to inhibit your ability for success in any way, shape, or form. So I see one, how many students are in the CU Achieve program? So that depends on which campus you're at. if I look at last semester's or last year, so the fall of 23 cohort, and the fall, this past cohort's a little bit bigger, but you're looking in the range of about 200 students at Bloomsburg, about 75 to 85 at Lock Haven, and probably about 30 to 50 at Mansfield. So again, and that's not surprising. It's about the same percentage of our overall incoming class on each campus. That's a great question.
Yeah, that was a really great question. And as we
Uh,
go ahead, Brooke, I'm
no,
sorry.
that's okay. I just, one of the things that we will also say is definitely we will we're not going to like make t-shirts that say "See You Achieve" program. While there's nothing to be ashamed of in any way, shape, or form, because it really truly is just a support program, you're actually getting connected to resources faster than your typical student. So I mean, I would love to be able to really hit every student with all of the things that we go through with See You Achieve in their first year. I don't run the curriculum, so therefore I don't get to make that choice. Um, but again, you know, there's definitely anonymity if that's something that you're concerned about. But also it's just one of those situations where you just want to, you just know that you're, you know, you're a smaller cohort, but you're still part of the bigger first year student class. After the first semester are the benefits a student can take advantage of through through See You Achieve. Would help if I could speak tonight. So
You got
yes,
it.
so all of the things that we offer through See You Achieve for the specific cohort in their first semester, we continue to offer to all students throughout their time at CU through the Office of Student Success. So we continue, you will be, as a student at CU, you will be assigned a student success specialist. Again, that's a professional level staff person that works for me. Every campus has them. We have an office, we have a center that kind of has all of the supports right co-located. And so all of those things like academic mentoring, tutoring, study skills, time management, any of those things, having a mentor, all of those things you can continue to get connected with through the Office of Student Success, again, from the day you step foot on campus all the way through graduation. So the support doesn't end, it's just you're no longer required. If you're taking college credit classes in high school, will they transfer? Yeah, so they'll transfer just like any other dual enrollment high school credit. So that's something you'll want to make sure you work with your admissions counselor about or the registrar's office. So again, this program is really in addition to whatever classes you're taking, like, you know, whatever your major might be or whatever your intended major may be. Or if you're exploratory, that's okay too. So the program doesn't inhibit any of those normal college things. So definitely make sure that we get those transcripts if you're taking dual enrollment classes.
And Sarah, just to expand more upon on that, so essentially, you know, if you're taking college credit right now, what you want to do is you want to, at the end of the semester, when you're done taking that course, you want to send that transcript, that college transcript where you're taking the courses at, to our admission office. That way, we'll get your transfer evaluation done, so you're able to see that in your application portal of what credits transfer over and things like that too as well. So that's
Yeah, and then that also helps us, the sooner you can get those two admissions, that also helps us build your first year schedule so that you don't have to, so you don't have to continue or you don't accidentally take a class that meets the same requirements. So the earlier you get those in, the better. Do you need to stay on campus to be in CU Achieve? No. So you do not need to be a residential student. Mascot days are open to all first year students, whether they're residential or commuting students. So those requirements and some of the requirements about workshops and those kinds of things, we offer them throughout different days of the week, different times of the day. So we try to make sure that we're as flexible as possible with students, knowing they've got lots of different competing priorities. So if the biggest thing, again, the biggest thing that I can say is if you get here, we're rolling, we're going through things, and something happens that, oh, listen, I'm not going to be able to make any of the educational opportunities, the workshops. Talk to my staff, send me an email. My email is really easy. It's just E as in Emmy, and then Borst, my last name, at commonwealthu.edu. So you can always reach out to me with questions when you're here, before you get here, any of those kinds of things. But no, you do not need to be a residential student. Again, we really want to make sure that you are, thanks, Jay, that you are just connected to the resources that you need. And actually, as a commuter, that can be more difficult. So it's even more important that you are a part of this program. So what examples of approved study locations? Yes, so we don't have all of them identified for this coming fall. It kind of tends to shift based on the size of the cohort, the campus, but all of our student success offices and our student success centers on all of our campuses have study spaces. So that's the easiest one, is anywhere in the Student Success Center. And again, we'll definitely make sure that we go through those when we get you to campus in August. That's going to be one of those things that we hit really hard so everybody knows. Some of the other locations, a lot of the academic buildings are open later because there's classes and there's open spaces. So we'll go through those. The libraries, obviously, and those hours vary based on campus. So again, we just kind of try to make sure that we are giving you enough options throughout. The biggest piece is we want you to mostly, for the required study hours, and again, that's only 6 hours a week, which is not enough to be successful, but it's enough to kind of get you in the habit and to get you on the right track. So 6 hours a week, we want you out of your residence hall room. All of our libraries have quiet study spaces, or they have group study spaces. Again, if you're not sure how to study, meeting with your mentor in the Student Success Center somewhere on campus, can be really helpful to kind of talk through, how do you study? What's an effective method of studying? So we go through a lot of those things. Certainly athletes, we know that you will have requirements as a first-time student on campus that are connected to your athletics programs. And I'm here to say very happily, again, we partner really, really closely with athletics to make sure that you don't have to do, like, let's say you have to do 4 for athletics and 6 for us. You just need to meet the 6 for us. So if you're doing your study tables with your team, again, I know that changes based on team and sport and all those kinds of things. But, if you do 4 hours with your coach and the rest of your team, your coach we'll work with your coach to make sure that you can provide us that information and we know it's legit, and we go about our merry way. Then you've only got 2 more additional hours to work in other locations. So again, we're not trying to make this difficult for you. I know it can seem overwhelming. That was a wall of text of requirements, but we'll break it down for you and really guide you step by step throughout the process. And throughout the program. It's not designed to catch you in a mistake, right? It's really just designed to support you. The reason that I put all of those requirements out there is to be transparent. So again, it's that knowing what your expectations are. But really, if you look at all of them, they're building block foundational pieces that are really going to help you hit that 2.0 and well above. If you do what we ask you to do, and you take advantage of this opportunity, because truly it is an opportunity. If you take advantage of the opportunity to be a part of the program, you're going to make it. It is designed so that you can end your first semester in good academic standing and start your college career off on that right foot.
And we have a that's a great point that you mentioned too, Dr. Borst. We have a question here in the Q&A chat. Is an acceptance to CU Achieve program an acceptance into the school?
Oh, into the university. Yes, yes, it
Mhm.
is. So it is a conditional acceptance. So again, what that means is you didn't meet the criteria to be regularly admitted to the university, but we see, you know, promise in you. We see the ability to be successful at CU. So the admissions team has admitted you into this program, provided you make that transition well, right? So you do the fall requirements, you participate in the program, you end the semester in good academic standing. That again, it's like a C to C plus average GPA. Then you will be fully then admitted as a regular student, no additional requirements for then the spring semester.
Now, can I add a little bit on from the
Please
front end
do.
side of what we're seeing in that mission? So, you know, on our side in that mission, we're reviewing your application. We're looking at everything you send us, whether that be an essay, whether that be letters of recommendation, SAT, ACT scores, even though it's still optional, whatever you send us is we're taking into consideration. And, you know, we understand that, you know, students, high school, being a high school student is hard. You have to go through a lot of stuff that are, you know, that can happen in your life. You got to balance a lot of things, and you know sometimes adjusting from middle school to high school can be challenging for some students, and they have a struggling first year in ninth, 10th grade, and then they pick it up 11th grade and you know 12th grade too as well. So this is to add that backbone and support for you and give you a chance typically to gain access to higher education. And this program, See You Achieve, is one of them. It's not a punishment by any stretch of the imagination. Through my own personal story, I went to one of our Commonwealth campuses at Lock Haven. I'll be straight up and upfront about this. When I graduated high school, I had a 2.1 GPA. I was admitted into, you know, at the time it was Early Start, Jump Start program, essentially the same purpose as See You Achieve, and you know ended up graduating college with a 3.0 and pursuing a master's program graduating in the spring, right? So it whatever you when you come into college, whatever you've done in high school doesn't matter, right? So you know this program is again said not to be a punishment, because I've had those questions too. Parents, you know, will ask like, hey, like, is my child being punished? No, your child is not being punished for this at all. This is to provide support so that they can be successful at the college level, because it is hard. It is.
Yeah, and you know, I think one of the big pieces, so the difference between one of the biggest differences between college and high school, really is the fact that it's not a right, right? It's a privilege, it's an opportunity to go to college. Um, and so with that, there are academic expectations. So you know, I use the term good academic standing, right? So the university has set standards that students have to meet in order to continue, that all students regardless of acceptance have to meet in order to continue their their status as students at the university and in order to actually graduate. So you can't graduate from any of our programs if you have less than a 2.0 GPA at the time of graduation. So you know there are expectations and there are needs overall. The program is designed to make sure that again you start off strong and you have a good foundation, so that you know hopefully my hope is that everybody ends the semester with a 3.0 or better, gives you even more of a wiggle room, because then if you don't have a great semester, something happens in your personal life, you know, something happens that you're just not in the right major or you're not in the right classes and you just don't do well, you've got some buffer space before you get into that danger zone of an academic issue from the university. So again, to really reiterate Justin's point, it's not a punishment. It really truly is based on making sure that you don't get into a situation where you've put in 3, 4 semesters worth of tuition and now all of a sudden you can't graduate. Like that would be the worst thing possible. Again, that's why we really want to try to be open, honest, and transparent about what the requirements are of the program. These are great questions. Any
Yeah,
other questions?
these are you all are asking phenomenal questions here. Now, so while we're waiting for some to ask some more questions, can you elaborate a little bit more on the consequences that might happen if you do not maintain this 2.0 GPA after the first semester?
Yeah. So again, as a CU Achieve student, you need to hit that good academic standing to continue for the spring semester. As a regular student, again, you need to maintain that 2.0 through or better, obviously, throughout your entire time as a student. We do. We are reviewing and potentially changing our academic standing policy, but the way that it stands right now is if you as a student have two semesters that you fall below your cumulative GPA, so that's your total GPA, falls below a 2.0, then you will be so the first semester below a 2.0, you're placed again. This is a regular student. You're placed on academic warning. Second semester is academic probation, and then third semester you're looking at being suspended from the university and needing to sit out one semester. So you need to take classes at a community college or at another institution. But the university takes it really seriously that you need to be making good academic progress towards graduation. And that obviously is to your benefit. You want to get out of here without having to take multiple iterations of the same class and wasting money and all of those kinds of things. Um, but also, again, that higher standard of academic expectations is really at the university. So again, the program is designed so that you don't have to worry about that moving forward. You're gonna do well. You're gonna do what needs to be done, and you're gonna get through this first semester, and then you're gonna go and continue to grow and move forward. But yeah, that's a really good question, Justin.
And we have a question here in the Q&A chat here. How does FAFSA work? And if we apply and get the money and scholarships, how much will we pay out of pocket? So that's a great question. We're going to be hosting financial aid virtual sessions too as well. I'll be hosting them with the director of financial aid, Mr. Mike Hall. But just to just to answer your question, there's not a one size fits all to every scenario when it comes to FAFSA, right? So a student can apply, they'll get a financial aid, which the FAFSA is open and you can very well apply right now and get that taken care of if you haven't already. So you'll apply for financial aid. You'll then get an award letter back of how much you received in grants and loans, and then you'll have an admissions counselor and a financial aid counselor explain to you and your family what everything means, and then you'll put all the schools that you're interested in on there, so us being one of them, and a bunch of other schools, and then you'll essentially sit down with your family and judge based on how much you're getting back from your financial aid package, what financially makes sense for you and your family. And then there's other loan options out there too as well, like third party loans too.
One thing to know is so your FAFSA and any loans or scholarships or grants are not impacted by the fact that you are accepted through the CU Achieve program. So that has no bearing on your financial aid status or from your package. Obviously, the university has things like merit scholarships that you may not qualify for, but that's based on your high school GPA. It doesn't have anything to do with your connection to the CU Achieve program. So again, I just want to be really honest and open to say that this does not negatively impact you in any way, shape, or form. Again, I can't say it enough. I wish that we could offer this program to every single incoming first year student, because I really think that we would see our GPAs rise significantly from all of our first time students just because of the supports and the foundation that we're building here for students.
Yep, 100%.
I don't want to take anybody else's time if we don't have additional questions, but um, Justin and I can certainly hang out But if you don't have any more questions, you can feel free to call it a night. I know
Yeah.
it's dinner time or bedtime, right, Jay?
Oh yeah.
Or or food or homework, anything like that. But again, you've got our contact information here in the chat. Please feel free to reach out to me if you have any additional questions. Thank you so much for your time tonight.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. And first, can we give a virtual round of applause for Dr. Emmy Boris, please, for taking the time out of her night to sit down with us and have and engage in a great conversation to indulge you and everyone that'll be watching in the future about See You Achieve program. So thank you, Dr. Boris. Thank you, students and families, for coming out and attending this. To the ones that will be watching in the future, thank you for taking time out of your day to watch this too as well. I hope everyone has a great night and hope to see you on one of our campuses soon. Have a good one.